Welcome to the Next Normal Positive Friday. My name is David, and I'm your host for this segment we're offering every Friday night on positive thinking. And tonight we're talking about stress free living, how to really have a life that is free from a lot of stress. You know, if you search the internet, you will find lots of tools to let go of stress in your life, and to have tools to respond to teach you to respond to stressful situations. But, you know, the real secret to letting go of stress is to not take it on to begin with, to build a still and stress free foundation. And so tonight, I want to talk about how we do that and what are some tools that have helped me to become more stress free. Sure, sometimes I still get stressed with the situation, but not like I used to. And it's because of some basic practices that I've learned that help me to do this. You know, number one, I would say, is the practice of acceptance and attention. To really pay attention to how we're feeling, to pay attention to what's going on in my mind, and to accept what's there, not try to push it away or resist it. Because from that place of acceptance is where I can really begin to change it. Number two is to keep my awareness in this present moment, to make sure that my attention is on what I'm doing right now and not so much on the past or on the future. I think a lot of the stress that we take on is because we are taking our thoughts too much into the future or into the past. And we worry about things that could happen, or we're taking on some resentment or some hurt or some pain from something that happened in the past. And it's good to remind ourselves that where do we live? We live in this moment right now, not in the future and not in the past. This is where everything happens. Everything happens in the present moment. And so it's not that the past or the future doesn't have any value, but it's important for us to understand what that value is and use the past and the future for that purpose. So the past is great for teaching us lessons. There's so much we can learn from the past. It's in fact how we learn. And it's important to think about the future sometimes because we need to plan. And that planning helps us make choices about what we're doing in this particular moment. But if we're thinking about the past or the future out of either of those contexts, then we're not really living in the present moment. You know, I'm the kind of person who loves to plan things. And I find that I would plan a lot of things, but not do a lot of things. You know, I would spend all my time thinking about what I want to do in the future, but doing very little of it when it comes down to the present. And I find that very few of those things that I was thinking of actually get realized. If you want your future to be great, pay attention to what you're doing right now. If you want your future to be stress-free, pay attention to what you're doing right now. Not worry about so much about what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day or the next day or 2 years from now. If we take care of what we're doing right now, the future is going to take care of itself. You know, it sort of goes along with this idea that it's not the destination, it's the journey that's important. It's remembering that it's how we are and how we interact with the world that's more important than what the accomplishments might be. And if we focus on that, the accomplishments will take care of themselves. If we focus on what we bring to each moment, the accomplishments will take care of themselves and we won't have to worry about them so much. For me, some of the greatest tools for living more of a stress-free life, though, are using love and appreciation. Having the intention to think from a place of benevolence, to think from what's beautiful within me. If I set that intention each day and practice using that, I find that I'm not getting as stressed in challenging situations because I've built that foundation of what's really wonderful in me by practicing using it. Practice being kind, practice appreciation, practice acceptance, practice compassion, practice cooperation. When we do this, we're using what's best in ourselves. And when we're using those qualities, there's no room for stress. So for me, though, to do all that, I need power. I need the strength to do all that. And that's why I want to share with you the biggest tool that I have found to help me live a more stress-free life is to incorporate regular meditation into what I do, into each day, and use that meditation to build a foundation of stillness that I carry with me. When we build that foundation of stillness, we have space to pay attention to our thinking, to pay attention to our feelings, and to make choices about how we respond to them. With regular meditation, we are connected with that beautiful part of ourselves. We can become more aware of that so that it's more accessible for us as we're walking and moving around. And with that, we find that those things that used to irritate us or make us anxious don't affect us as much because we're using that beautiful part of ourselves. So, should we do a little meditation together? Some of you may have not done any meditation before and wonder what meditation's about. It's nothing really mysterious. It's actually something pretty simple. Meditation is just turning our attention inward and observing and focusing and observing, focusing and observing. And if you're going to focus and observe, as we discussed in our previous class, you need something to focus on. And our breath is a very useful tool that we can use to do that. Our breath is something that's always available to observe. It's something that's neutral. And so let's do that together for just a moment. Let's turn our attention inward and just observe our breath. Observe the air filling your lungs and exiting through your mouth and nose. Just watching your breath. Each breath in, I'm feeling refreshed. Each breath out, I'm letting go of any tension. Just observing. And as you watch your breath, other thoughts might come. Thoughts about something that happened this morning, maybe something you have to do later today. And that's fine. You can observe those thoughts, accept that those thoughts are there, and then bring your attention back to your breath. You don't have to follow that thought. Gently bringing your attention back to your breath. And as you observe your breath, observe your thoughts, you may become aware of a stillness that's there in the background. Stillness that actually is always there, just waiting for you to discover. So for this moment, let me be with that stillness. Let me feel the peace of that stillness. It's with me. Observing my thoughts, observing my breath. I am still. I am still. And as I bring my attention back to the breath, keep that stillness with me. So meditation is most powerful and most valuable if we do that on a regular basis, every day, or even multiple times a day. Morning is the best time to do that. In fact, quite early in the morning is a great time for you to meditate. There's real benefit in meditating early in the morning. One is that in the morning, the world is quiet, there's less to disturb you. It's not just the sounds of the world, but the whole vibrations of the world are still in the morning. Also, in the morning, you're fresh. You've just woken up, and so you're not carrying a lot of extra thoughts with you at that time. And finally, though, in the morning, you're setting the foundation for the whole day. You're laying a foundation for the way that you approach your day. And if you build that foundation on a regular basis, you're not going to be, you may find that with practice, the situations that you used to get stressed about don't seem to stress you as much. It's not like if you get stressed in a situation, you think, oh, well, let me go sit and meditate. That's sort of a backwards approach. The best approach, though, is to have a regular practice of meditation, to build that foundation of stillness. And with that, you will find that you have a more stable mind, that you're not getting stressed or anxious about situations as much because you built that foundation of stillness. You can also take meditations breaks throughout the day to top up that stillness. Here at the Meditation Museum, we have something called traffic control that we play. And it's little music that comes on at particular times in the day, just to remind us to take a few minutes of attention inward, um, to top up that stillness, to take ourselves back to an awareness of that beautiful part of me. And you can take little meditation breaks throughout the day, um, in times when you're not doing anything else. You may have noticed that when we were meditating just now, I wasn't closing my eyes, which may seem different and for many of you if you've done some meditation. But there's real value to learning to meditate with your eyes open. One is that we spend most of our day with our eyes open. So why not learn to meditate that way so you can keep that meditative awareness more readily with you as you're walking and moving around? And if you learn to meditate with your eyes open, you can claim little meditation opportunities throughout the day. If you're in an elevator, you can take a few minutes inward. If you're standing in line at a checkout counter, you can take a few meditative moments inward. If you're even in traffic at a stoplight, you can claim a few moments of meditation if you do this with your eyes open. But to me, the most beautiful thing about meditating with your eyes open is when you do that, you are sharing that experience with the world around you through your eyes. You're giving that gift of that stillness, of that beauty within you through your eyes. And when we do that, we actually are serving ourselves because we're allowing those qualities to flow within you. Okay? So if you want to live a more stress-free life, the number one thing I think you can all do is incorporate a regular meditation practice into your daily routine and use that time to turn your attention inward and become aware of that still place within you. And in the awareness of that stillness, you can also begin to recognize everything that's wonderful and beautiful. It's in you and in each one of us. Okay? All right. We look forward to talking with you next week on Positive Friday, Next Normal, and where we're going to talk about letting go of sadness, releasing sadness. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.
We are this voice together. We are this voice together. We make this choice together. We make this choice together. Om Shanti. We're singing Om Shanti. Ooh.